Hey y'all, welcome to the Filling Station. It's a new day, another opportunity, y'all, either to make money in the market or just learn from the market, right? But let me go ahead and give my disclaimer. I am not a financial advisor. I just enjoy teaching people how to build generational wealth, and the stock market is just one of those avenues. So this video is for educational purposes only. With that being said, y'all, let's get started. So we are looking at the VIX, and right now the VIX is looks like it wants to come to the downside, and if it does, that means the SPY normally is trying to go to the upside. So right now the 1325 is our support. I always try to go, to our 3 or 4 o'clock candle, which will be about here. So price was at 1330 at the time, and it seems like we're trying to come back and just test that area or stay in that area. So I would watch the 1330, 1329 up to the 1339. That's our range for the VIX thus far. 1329 to 1339. Yeah, I would definitely a 1340 area. If we break above or below those areas, we can go in that direction to the upside or to the downside. Just know that to the downside, we're right here at the 5 EMA, which is at the 1333, and to the upside, we're a little ways off 1366 from the 200 EMA. So we could move in either direction. Just know that to the downside, our support area is 1310. That's strong support for me because there's the ATR trailing stop and the 20 EMA. So if we break that, we can always come back and test this 1303, which will then again send the SPY to the downside. So I would watch the VIX. And notice that even on this 1 hour chart, there is the 5 and 50 is crossing to the upside. That's bullish for me. And it has a little 1437 is a little ways off to to get to that 200 EMA. So I would definitely watch the VIX at this level just to, pay attention to it. It kind of gives you a sentiment or overall of how the SPY or the overall market is, right? In my opinion. Let me say that. So y'all listen, we're looking at the SPY now. So the SPY has been finding support at the 521.35 area, and resistance was around here at the 521.81, and we broke out of that, right? And we came back and made a new high of 502.04, and this is all pre-market, only to come back and test this 522.32. So are we going to break through this area, or are we going to get rejected again and come back down to the downside? That's interesting because we are above the 5 EMA, above the 20 EMA and the 50 EMA. So SPY would need to, stay above, I would say, the 522.04, and that kind of gives us a chance that we very well may continue to the upside. However, we're going to have trouble right here at this 522, let's see, 522.80. 522.60 area. That is our ATR trailing stop, and we know that it normally tests that and then get rejected and come back to the downside. But again, it could continue through. Nothing is guaranteed in the market. I can't say that enough. So that's looking at it on the 1 hour time frame, and to me the 1 hour and the 4 hours kind of looking the same this morning. And let's see, I think the SPY the ATR may have changed. SPY moves $6.39 per day, and looking at it on the daily chart, it wouldn't surprise me to see the market come back to the downside. SPY has some gaps down here at the 508 area, so in my opinion, it just would not surprise me to see it come back and fill some of those gaps. So if I traded the SPY today, I would say watch the levels of 521.82, 522.04, 522.64, and we can continue on up and retest that 524. Just stair step its way onto the upside, right? So okay, this is Tesla. Tesla is interesting as always because Tesla got down under the 170, which is interesting for me. To me, I had that as a level of support, a strong level of support, just like the 160 range. So it closed at 168.47. Right now, we came down and tested this low of 168.78. We made, the gathering spot is really from 168.78 and 169.73. So that is your zone. That's the range that Tesla is trading pre-market. And I would say it needs to get above the 169.73, close above that level, but we have trouble at 170.21 and the 170.30. Those are trouble places for us, again, at 170.56. So Tesla would need to get above 170.45 and stay above that, close above that, in order, to get confirmation that it is going to the upside. So I would say if I traded Tesla today, I would definitely be careful at the 170.21 because that's going to be a trouble place, or the 171.89 and the 169.94. Those are trouble places for us, and it could very well test those, get rejected, and come back down, or it can test it, break through, and come back, and continue higher. But what do I see for Tesla? It seems as if the stock is very bearish, and it will definitely probably come, not definitely, at some point, let me say that nothing is guaranteed in the market. Let me rephrase that. So at some point, it's going to come back and fill those gaps, and we have a gap at the 158 or 150, somewhere around the 150 and 140 range. So there it is, 158.30 and 147. It's down in this area, so it wouldn't surprise me. And based on this daily chart, we see that Tesla is maybe trying to come back to fill that gap from the earnings run up, right? So yeah, it would not surprise me. On average, the ATR for Tesla is $10.16. Again, anything is possible in the market. Nothing is guaranteed. Trade what you see. I can't say that enough, right? So Nvda, the ATR has changed. It was $40-something per day. It's now $35.59. Looking at it on this daily chart, as you can see, y'all, we just been going sideways, not really going too high, not making new highs or new lows. We're just creating a gathering spot. So I anticipate a breakout. In either direction very soon. Let's say that. So right now we had a gathering spot of 905.37 as support, 906.75 as resistance. It is above the 5 EMA, so it will need to break above this 907.31 area so that it and close above that, so we will get continuation to the upside. So it needs to continue making higher highs and higher lows. And looking at it on this 30-minute chart, again, we are above the 5 EMA, the 20 EMA, and the 5 EMA, and it's fanned out. So that looks like we're going to the upside. And again, anything is possible. So anything below 905.56 puts us under the 5 EMA, which we could very well come back to the downside. So I would watch that 905.56 area, as well as the 902.96. I would watch that area because at first I thought that was going to be our gathering spot, but we broke out of that to continue higher. So something stopped it here in this area, and I needed to remember that. So to the downside, 905.49, 901.90, 899.54, and 896.52, which brings us right at the ATR trailing stop on this 30-minute chart. So looking at it to the upside, we're going to have trouble here at the 909.70, which is right here at this ATR trailing stop. That's a trouble place for us. It will need to break above, again, 907.21 area and close above that in order to come back and retest that area. But again, keep in mind, it moves $35 a day. It can move $35 in either direction, y'all. So trade what you see and make sure you have confirmations as to why you're entering your trades, right? So Carvana is an inside day, and I'm going to give the trigger. So to the upside, it will need to break above 120.06, and the target to the upside is here at the 121.22. Now to the downside, it will need to break under 155.26 to give us a downside target of 112.70. And keep in mind, Carvana has a gap to the downside from earnings that need to be filled, and the gap fill starts around the 111.52 area down to the $91.12. So it looks as if we had created a gathering spot. So off here, we're back to creating another gathering spot. We definitely will need to stay above this 5 EMA, which is at the 117.55 area. We need to stay above that, close above that to continue to the upside. But to the downside, it seems like it has a big gap to fill, so that's why it's on my list today. And AMD is the next one. Today, AMD has been trading sideways. As you can see, we're looking at the 4-hour chart, and it's been just creating a gathering spot here for a few days now. So I anticipate the move to be a strong move up or a strong move down, whichever direction it chooses to move. But as of now, it seems as if the 150 204 is our support. We had resistance at 152.32, but it seems like it's creating us another zone here around the 152.53. So I would watch that area, which puts us kind of, yeah, I don't know how that happened, which puts us kind of where the 200 EMA is on this 30-minute chart. So we need to watch this area of 152.74, above 152.74 or above this 200 EMA, which is right here at 152.68. We could very well come back and test the 153.29 area, and that's the ATR trailing stop. And as you can see, we just broke out of this area here. But AMD moves interesting to me. So I would definitely watch it below 152.02. We've come down to this area here. I need to remember that because that is a pre-market low. Are we going to continue down, or are we going to bounce like it just did, right? So looking at the candle sometimes it's interesting when you're watching it in real time, right? So I need to remember this level, because even though it came down and created this long candle, this candle with this long wick, sellers were right there. Something was there to pick that price back to the upside. I need to remember why it stopped. I want to know why it stopped at the 151.55. There was something that stopped it there. So it could very well come back and test that area. Keep that in mind. So the 150 to the upside, again, it needs to break above the 152.67 or the 152.81 area, looking at it on this 1 hour chart. And 153.58 is our trouble place, which is the 200 EMA on this 1 hour, or the 154.52. So those are places that I would watch AMD to the upside. Now let's look at the downside. I have 148.69 or 148.66 as support, and 148.23 as support. So I would definitely watch those areas. Keep in mind there are some little gaps in between, like the 150.60, the low of this candle here, and the 151.32, which brings us at the low of this candle. So those are areas, if I traded AMD, I would definitely watch those places. And again, it's interesting to watch and trade, but it's created a zone for us. We just need to be careful at the breakout from those zones, and mark your levels and set your alerts, and only trade what you see, and make sure you have other confirmations as to why you're entering the trade, and don't just jump into the trade. So I think CCL was an inside day. It is. So to the upside, if it breaks above 1463, the target is 1470. If it breaks to the downside, 1434. Below 1434 gives us a target of 1427, and CCL moves on an average of 41 cents per day. So if you trade CCL, I would say watch those levels. Just know that it is creating a gathering spot for us. So we definitely need to break above 1449 so we can continue to the upside, and we're going to have trouble at 1457. So if I traded that, I always say y'all trade carefully, pay attention to your charts, and do not rush into your trades. So again, we're doing a recap. SPY has tested this area twice, 522.32. It looks like it wants to break above to the upside. The 5 EMA is moving to the upside. We did have a crossing here. So we could very well come back and recover just a little bit, only to get rejected. So I always say, y'all, trade what you see. Do not rush into your trades. And again, Tesla is trading sideways as it does, but I just believe that Tesla is going to continue to the downside, but I don't know how far down. Just keep in mind, we're not rushing. We're just waiting patiently. The key to trading is waiting and being able to wait on your trades. So don't rush into your trades, y'all. So again, I hope these videos are very, very helpful, y'all. I try to look at the market, pre-market, to see what I see, and I'm a little different. I always say that I'm a little different in how I see things, but we all learn differently, and that's important that we understand how we learn. So again, I hope these videos are very, very helpful. I hope that everyone have a very profitable day today. And I always like to leave you with this, y'all. Be blessed as well as a blessing unto others. Until next time.